little bit about me, background, I got started in this right around 2012, 2013 as a firearm safety instructor for the Minnesota DNR firearm safety program. Through a few channels and connections, I found out that there was this league available, this clay target league available to student athletes in schools. So I ended up joining a local team as an assistant coach, kind of got my feet wet there. Eventually went over to where I currently coach at the Lakeville South clay target team. Helped start that program there, go through the approval process, and then hosted our first in-person meeting, which had, what I was expecting to be somewhere around 20 to 30 student athletes, ended up having 89 show up to our first meeting. So, lots to say there, but we ended up with 94 students on our very first team back in 2013. From that point on, I was hooked. You get a team that big, I was all in on it, super excited for this opportunity. After being in the league as a coach for a couple of years, I did reach out with some of the league officials and just said, hey, if there's ever an opportunity, I'd love to do more with this league. It is my passion. I truly enjoy growing the shooting sport for the youth and seeing things grow. So that opportunity came. I was able to come on board full-time in 2016 as the league's coach, education, and support manager, and just been a part of all the growth and unique opportunity ever since.
Awesome. Why don't you go ahead and advance your slide there? So for those of you that have tuned in with us for the last, how many weeks we've been doing it, 41, I guess it is. We're a weekly series that you can tune in. You can learn some new stuff about outdoor skills and different DNR topics, talk with DNR staff through the Q&A feature that's on the bottom of the screen. We try to do this every Wednesday about noon, and our goal is for you to learn about hunting, fishing, outdoor recreation opportunities across the state of Minnesota. We've got our upcoming schedule. Next week is going to be ice fishing for panfish and dark house spearing following that. So we're definitely getting into that season. So just a reminder that we are recording the episode for playback. And Jason, you can go ahead and run through your slides.
All right, outstanding. Thanks, Craig. And then again, if anybody has any questions, we do have a chat feature. I'll answer any questions at the end of the presentation. So please feel free to enter in your comments there in the chat and we'll get back to it at the end. Without further ado, we'll get right into it. So what is the Minnesota State High School Clay Target League? The Minnesota State High School Clay Target League is a division of the USA Clay Target League, a nonprofit corporation. The league is the independent provider of clay target shooting sports as an extracurricular, co-ed, and adaptive activity for high schools and students in grades 6 through 12. The league's priority is safety, fun, and marksmanship in that order. Starting a team. This is definitely one of the most important questions I get throughout the year is you'll get people that are interested in starting a team and literally have no idea where to start. So we'll walk through a few points here. The purpose of the league is to attract students to participate in shooting sports while creating a friendly competition among high schools throughout Minnesota. With the assistance of hundreds of volunteer coaches and parents, student athletes in grades 6 through 12 represent their high school by competing in weekly trap and now skeet, sporting clays, and 5-stand shooting at their local shooting range. Scores are submitted online and compared against other high school trap teams within their conference. So that's just a key note there that this is a virtual league in the regards of the regular season. All teams are able to compete at their home range where their coach is able to submit scores online. And we'll kind of get into some of that scoring and conference designation, things like that at a later time. The Minnesota State High School Clay Target League provides a safe, comfortable, and positive team environment that enhances a student athlete's character and personal growth through safe, educational, and socially acceptable involvement in shooting sports. So that's really a key thing, I guess, I want to note on anybody inquiring about the league or starting a team here. It is meant to be, a recreational team that focuses on safety and fun and does work its way towards marksmanship and competition. But in the startup phase, I would not worry about competition and marksmanship anywhere near on the front of the line there. So something to consider. Any high school can join. We have our state page, which I've listed in the chat session, or will be posted at some point throughout the webinar today. We do have a direct page where folks can inquire about starting a team if your school does not already have a team. And that's right at startateam@usaclaytarget.com. School eligibility, any public, private, or parochial high school in Minnesota is invited to participate. Teams require the following, which is approval from the school. Typically, that's an activities director, school board member, principal, superintendent, anybody with the authority to oversee activities at the school. The second bullet is use of the school name. We are a high school league. We do try and mimic, the Minnesota State High School League, so we try and keep things as consistent as possible. So yes, if you're starting a team, it does need to be associated with the name of your high school. Schools are strongly encouraged to provide a lettering program and photo in the yearbook. Again, right along those lines of keeping things consistent with other high school programs. We want teams to be proud of what they're doing and be in that yearbook and show their stuff around the school. The lettering program, I think, is huge. It's got so many benefits to these students in regards to, achievements and showing off those accomplishments, promoting the team, promoting the safety, the fun, the marksmanship, all of that. So we highly encourage a lettering program and a photo in the yearbook. What students can join a team? Great question, right? So we kind of follow along with the Minnesota DNR's guidelines as far as when students can get firearm safety. That's a big point for us, is safety. And so we do require each student athlete to complete one of two safety certifications. One of those being the state issued hunter safety through the DNR program. Most people are familiar with that program and how that works, especially if you're into hunting, fishing, etc. But that starts right around 11 to 12 years old before you can enroll in that. And then we also have our own SAFE certification program internally in the league that we'll talk about later. But as far as the age range, you get into that, grades 6 through 12 is where this league is positioned at the high school level. Costs, right? Everybody wants to know, what are the startup costs for starting a team? So I always start with trying not to get too overwhelmed with costs. I'm very proud to say that this league has been strongly supported through sponsors and donations, fundraising efforts, which has made the league affordable and fun for those worried about any kind of cost concerns. So sponsorships, donations, and fundraising events for each team are strongly encouraged to help raise money and reduce the cost of participation for athletes. Recognition for team sponsorships may occur on team uniforms, banners, and websites. I think that's very consistent with other programs in high school leagues, especially ones that may be considered more activities than school-sponsored programs. So, we like to see those supporters out there. That's really what some of the strongest folks that we have to thank out there are those people that are supporting our league. Costs can vary by team depending on the ammunition costs, uniform expenses, local shooting range fees. I mean, that's just a couple things. We all know how long the list is in real life when you include, eye and ear protection, range bags, various other things, shotguns, chokes, stuff like that. But we estimate roughly, and this is based on survey information that we take every year, the season cost is somewhere between $300 to $400 a season. Including your target's ammunition. And that's if you have a shotgun already. Obviously, if you don't have a shotgun, you would have to look at incurring that one-time fee up front to determine which one's the best fit for you. But we figure $300 to $400. And personally, I think it's closer to the 300 mark than the 400, again, depending on where you're able to secure supplies. One thing we are proud of is our league registration fee. So we've been able to maintain that pretty consistently here over the years. At $35. That's a fee that the student athlete pays at the time of registration, either to the league or to the team. And that also includes, things like league insurance, which is a general liability policy that we offer, as well as a subscription to Pull USA magazine. So we offer a quarterly magazine. geared toward the student athletes. We send that out every 3 months with a number of highlights, try to be specific to, again, the student needs as far as, tips and tricks from the Coach Kelvie corner, range finders, understanding where other teams are across the country, highlighting unique athletes in the league, things like that. So obviously in there as well, we have a number of support from our sponsors and donors. League registration fees do not include optional participation in year-end tournaments. We'll kind of get into that a little bit in the schedule later, but we do have season-ending tournaments in our spring season that are optional and highly encouraged by everyone to attend. We invite all of our student athletes to attend our championships at the end of the year. Fees typically do not include mandatory ear and eye protection, shooting gear, things like that. And the reason being there is that stuff is so custom to each individual athlete and shooter and coach. So we don't include that in our fees. We leave that at the team level and assume that they'll get what they need. We say athletes must supply their own shotgun. Shooting ranges may allow a shotgun to be borrowed or rented with parental approval. Some teams may also have their own shotguns for use. So this has kind of been an evolving thing. I would say the overwhelming majority of students that participate do have their own shotgun or access to one throughout the family somewhere. But for those that don't, teams have been able to evolve over the years through fundraising efforts and possibly purchase or receive donated shotguns through different organizations or, retired shooters, things like that. And then, of course, depending on the range you're at, they may have options for you to rent a firearm if needed. Coaching requirements. That's another big one I get. So you're that volunteer, right? You're that parent that's eager. You've seen the league, you've seen other teams around, but you want to get your program started. Very simply put, the coaching requirements are not too daunting to get a program started. We put a lot of emphasis on the position of head coach. The head coach in our system is the main contact, kind of the main overseer of things, the person that most likely will be registering students, entering scores, looking at scoring reports, all that kind of stuff on our end. So each team requires an adult 21 plus years of age head coach, which must be approved by the school's athletic activities director. The head coach is responsible for all operations of a school's team, including but not limited to. And before I get into these bullets, I do want to stress how important that is, that we do require all head coaches be approved by the school. We want the school closely tied to these teams. We want the school knowing at all times who's in charge, what the operations look like, what the team is doing for fundraising and recruitment and all that kind of stuff. So at no time is there ever a point where the school is not fully involved with who is operating the team. Back to some of the head coach responsibilities, supervising student athletes in a professional manner. I think that one goes without saying much. We say professional manner because we are operating with youth, students, firearm, shotguns, volunteer coaches. So we try to carry this at a much higher level than maybe a typical high school sport. We pride ourselves on our safety record and the safety of everybody out there competing in the league. So professional manner means knowing the rules, knowing the safe zones, always, being aware of your surroundings and who's around you at all times. Recruiting and training assistant coaches, absolutely, right? So the head coach should be the one bringing people in, an approved staff. And to my knowledge, at least here in Minnesota, the overwhelming majority of these staffs are volunteer coaches and volunteer team managers and range safety officers. There might be a few paid people out there, but the overwhelming majority of this league is based on volunteers. Training student athletes in safety and courtesy. I mean, that's number one. When I bring a new team on board, that is the absolute first thing we talk about is safety protocols, safety meetings, emergency safety plans, before we get into anything about registration or scoring or anything else. So safety remains our priority, right behind it, fun being the next priority in the league. Monitoring safe handling of shotguns and ammunition. Again, kind of goes without saying. That's our priority. Having a wide experience in shotgun shooting and a thorough knowledge of shotguns and shooting range equipment. As much as you have. It's like any other sport. If you've had a background in it, you've had a history of hunting, clay target shooting, of course, I think you're going to be a good candidate for somebody to lead the charge. That being said, I don't have a percentage, but I can tell you that there's a number of head coaches out there that either started a team or have now inherited an existing team that do not have a shooting background. They've either learned stuff through our educational certifications and videos, through our class and our coach education sources, or they've been an assistant on a team and learned from that head coach, or any of the other, instructor courses out there as it pertains to firearms. So it's good to have the experience. It definitely speeds things along as you're starting a team, but by no means is it required for day one. Supervising, advising, and assisting all coaches and volunteers. Again, that's just a role of any head coach. We want the head coach to be supporting their staff. We want the head coach to be delegating. We do not want the head coach to think that they have to do it all. I can tell you right now, I don't care if you start a team of 5 or 94, you'll be overwhelmed in a hurry if you try and do it all yourself. Requirements, as far as what do we actually require? All head coaches are required to complete the league's class certification. So what is class certification? Class certification is the coach leadership and safety support certification provided through the Minnesota State High School Clay Target League. It is free for all head coaches, affordable. Other head coaches can take the course for less than most shotgun coach training programs out there. When I say that, again, the head coach gets it for free. We encourage all assistants, range safety officers, and whatnot to take it. The course is $50 for anybody that's not a head coach. Comprehensive. The online course takes 5 to 6 hours to complete and no travel required. I kind of sort of believe that, but I'm going to say that I think most coaches get this course done in 3 to 4 hours. I think 5 to 6 is on the long end. If you're really, really trying to dive into it, but it's more of like a 3 to 4 hour course. So nothing too crazy. Fun. As you can kind of see there, we've got some graphics up. It is an animated course. It does have instructors, students, range safety officers, voiceovers, things like that. So it's meant to be a fun and interactive learning experience for the coaches. Convenient. We had to think of convenience. We understand that volunteers' time and certainly money are priorities to our volunteers. So progress can be saved at any time to work around busy schedules. It leaves off exactly where you left off. It saves. So the next time you log in, you pick up right where you left off. Relevant. This is one of my favorite keys as far as the coach course goes. It's all about clay target shooting sports, youth, and firearm safety. That's what this league is. I know there's a lot of correlation to hunting, fishing, and things like that, which again, we strongly support, but it's not quite for all of our coaches and our students in the league. And so some of them just like to focus on just the sport of clay target shooting. So that's what this does. This is all about range activities and things pertain to the league. And then from there, we encourage taking other courses as it pertains to the hunting and fishing aspects. Consistent. Class certified coaches and safe certified student athletes learn the same content. So we'll get into our safety certification for students here in a bit, but they are consistent. So every coach must complete the student athlete side of things and then take the additional, 9 coach courses, and I believe it's 5 RSO courses. So that way there is no confusion. When a student comes to the range to be certified, the coach knows fully what that student had to complete in their 17 lessons plus test to get to where they're at. Support. Dedicated coach education and support manager available to assist with all questions. That's me. That's our folks back in the office. It's whoever. We are here to support you. Hopefully, I'm not the most technical guy in the world, but we will figure it out. But yeah, we are here to answer any questions, take any advice or feedback as well. So we hope you enjoy the course. Safety certification. So I touched on this a little bit earlier. It is required by every student athlete to participate in the league. We do accept two different forms of safety certification. First and foremost would be the state issued hunter safety program through the state of Minnesota. Again, we touched on that, where that is, your traditional firearm safety course, whether it's in person, the online version with the field day, things like that. That is an acceptable and a good form of safety certification to be accepted to participate in this league. The other safety certification we have is our own internal program called the SAFE program. So the Student Athlete Firearms Education Program. Very similar to what I laid out in the class and the coaches certification. It is 100% dedicated to clay target shooting sports and ranges and the league. Affordable, about the same as other hunter education classes. Ours is $25. It's no secret, but I think it's a great value at $25. And I think the students learn a lot by taking the course. Accessible, it's available everywhere. Personally, I'd never want to take it on a smartphone, maybe a tablet, but I always recommend, if you're going to take it, try and use a desktop or laptop computer. But it's accessible everywhere you have internet. Comprehensive. The online course does take 3 to 4 hours to complete, and I would say that's about spot on. There's 17 lessons with quizzes mixed in intermittently. Excuse me, intermittently, and then a final test at the end. Fun. Again, we talked about that earlier. Very similar. It's all student driven. We tried not to date ourselves and maybe have instructors that were older, or things that were no longer being done. So we chose the animation route. I'm happy we did. It seems to have a good standing with students and coaches, and it does make it a little more lighthearted and fun. Convenience, we've touched on that. The relevancy, consistency are all the same. The verification. So the SAFE certification is mirrored very close to the state issued hunter safety program. Once students complete the online program successfully, then they will be emailed their certificate, which will have their name on it, and then show completion of the course. What they'll need to do from there is they'll need to schedule a time with their coach or whoever the class certified coach is on the team to complete their portion of what we call the range day. Okay, so very similar to the field day in the firearm safety program of the DNR, we have our range day. Each coach has a range day guide to kind of walk through the student athletes on what they should know. And then from there, once the coach and the student athlete have completed that range day, the coach can go ahead and date the student certificate, and then both can go back into the system, our league system, and update their safety certification so that they're good to go for any future seasons. All right, kind of getting into the league season a little bit. Practice weeks. Practice is allowed prior to a scheduled event or any other different scheduled day if it doesn't interfere with another team or shooting range members. Basically, we offer 2 practice weeks in our spring season. Those are the first 2 weeks of the season once it's opened up. And those are scheduled practice weeks within our system. So teams can go out and practice those weeks. They can enter scores. The scores are more or less there for tracking purposes. They're not considered competition scores or can't be used down the road. But it's a good time for teams, new, existing, or veteran teams, to get out and get their practice in before the week starts. We strongly believe any athlete wishing to shoot more should be encouraged to do so. I mean, we require, 2 rounds a week. A round is 25 targets, so 50 targets a week during competition. I would love to see double that each week. I would love to see every student be able to put another 2 rounds downrange every week if possible. And I'll maybe touch on that later as to why I think that, but we absolutely encourage more shooting whenever possible. In addition, teams are strongly encouraged to be respectful of all volunteer time and shooting range managers' time. This is huge. We've set up our system to allow the coaches to dictate schedules and things like that outside of our league season schedule. And what I mean by that is whether you have a team of 5, 30, or 100, you need to work as a team and you have to be respectful of your volunteers. If the volunteers can only make Tuesdays and Thursdays work for a certain time at a certain range, then that's what has to be done. Again, these are not paid staff. They're doing their absolute best to give their time and give the best experience to all the athletes in the league. Additional shooting may occur if all athletes have had an opportunity to complete practice rounds and an athlete has no viable opportunity to shoot during the week. Ask a coach or shooting range manager for availability and cost. So again, we just want to make sure everybody's getting an equal opportunity. We don't want to tip the scale too much where we just worry about, maybe varsity level shooters or JV level shooters getting in all the practice time and we're not dispersing it equally amongst our newer and novice shooters. So if the opportunity is there, take it, but let's not abuse it at the expense of somebody else. League season. Just for this particular year, registration opens February 1st. So hopefully everybody that's listening today has got that marked on their calendar. That's typically when we open up TMS, which is our team management system for coaches to start inviting students to register for their teams. March 27th is practice week 1. We just talked on the practice weeks. That's kind of the unofficial kickoff to our competition season. April 11th, conferences announced. Conferences, we'll touch on just a little bit here, but each team is conference based on their team size, not their school size. So we try and keep like team sizes together. We've got dozens and dozens of conferences here in Minnesota, which I'm very excited about. But those get announced every year on April 11th. So each team has an idea of who they're competing against throughout the season. April 17th through May 15th are our competition weeks. We've got 5 competition weeks each season. Right in between competition week 1 and practice week 2, we have a reserve week built in there. Again, that's a week that we use for students to bank a score in case during one of the competition weeks they're unable to participate, due to the team rescheduling, due to weather, inclement weather situations, potentially COVID quarantining, in the future here, things like that. So do allow flexibility that if they can't make it, they've got a way to enter a score. May 22nd, our fun week. We did our survey here back in December and really asked, who's doing the fun week. Overwhelmingly, most teams are doing the fun week, which is awesome. And that's just a way to engage with bringing out school officials, bringing out community members, partnering with fire and police departments, whoever it may be, but just it's meant to be a fun celebration to the end of the season and kind of get everybody geared up for the upcoming championship tournament season. In Minnesota, hopefully most people are familiar with our trap championship held at Alexandria, at the Alexandria Shooting Park. This year it'll be June 13th through the 21st. And this is by far and away our biggest event and certainly the biggest clay target event in the state of Minnesota. So this is 9 days straight of roughly, 900 to 1,000 students participating each day amongst their individual classes for honors and awards, season-ending honors and awards. So it's an extremely rewarding experience. This championship is open to all students in the league, regardless of their scores or their averages, and we highly encourage everybody to attend because it is, unintended, a blast. Just past that, kind of our season wrap up as far as trap goes. We do have a presenting partnership with the Minnesota State High School League. We're very excited. We've had that partnership now for, I believe, 6 years, possibly 7. That event is held on Friday, June 24th, down at the Minneapolis Gun Club each year. And that's a really exciting event because it does bring a one-time opportunity to bring the best athletes in Minnesota together. So that event hosts the top 100 plus ties individuals from the regular season, along with the top 40 teams, qualifying teams from the Minnesota Trap Championship. So it's a really exciting day to see some really outstanding talent in the state of Minnesota. And just real quickly on that too, we also offer a skeet championship, which is now a 2-day event, kind of sandwiched in between. That'll be on the 22nd, 23rd. But that's also held down at the Minneapolis Gun Club and has been a growing event now that we're on to our 2nd day of it. So very fun stuff. Touching on that championship tournament thing, that's always the language. Everybody says, well, how can you have both, or what is it? So we call our championship that 9-day event, and then we end up calling our partnership with the high school league our state tournament. And I walked through that a little bit. What I will touch on, though, is the classifications. Everybody asks, okay, how am I going to be paired up when I get to this championship? It's not just, your top 5 scores all the time when it comes to, winning individual awards and then gender awards. So you can see here, the classifications include what we consider to be a novice shooter would be somebody that averages, between 0 and 14, I'll just call it 15 targets per round out of 25. We consider that a novice. Junior varsity would be any athlete that it averages 15 to 19 targets, roughly per round. And then a varsity athlete is certainly somebody that carries an average of 19 to 25 targets per round. So, and like I mentioned, it's the top 100 individuals and top 40 teams that get you to this event on Friday, June 24th. Awards and recognition. I mean, this is really what it's all about for us. It's a lot of hard work, not only for the coaches, but for all the volunteers and especially the student athletes. I can't tell you the immense amount of gains as you see these new athletes come into the league, sometimes in March, April, and what they're doing at that time of year when things are colder, windier, new, whatever. And then when they get to this point, where they're up there in June, doing their thing and just seeing the gains. So we're huge on our awards and recognition. We offer team awards as the top 2 teams in each conference. We offer overall awards during the season, by gender, and then a season overall award. And then certainly when you get to the championship, you're in those classifications, right? So if you're a novice shooter having a banner day, you can be getting an award in that novice division. And we specify medals, lanyards, and then trophies. So it's a really cool thing to honor all these students that put in the time. All completed event scores are added to determine the standings based on the highest number of points earned. The team that ends the season. So this is touching on, I should have clarified here, kind of how our true team scoring format works throughout the season. This is not tournament related. This is throughout the regular season. So we use a true team scoring format that basically includes the top 2/3 of all team members on the team. So a team member can come out each week, a novice shooter, JV, and not have to worry and say, well, they're only going to take my top 5 scores of this team every week, and I'm never going to count. You absolutely do count. And so again, teams that might be 75 or 100, we're talking scores are being counted 60, 70, 80 scores a night, which is a really cool thing. And that's all put into a system where we match teams alike with each other, and then we calculate those weekly standings, scores and standings. So each week a team can see where they're at within that true team point score system. The team that ends with the highest number of points earned wins their respective conference. Ties will be awarded equally. Individual recognition, performance will be available for public viewers. So at the end of each season and end of each week, we have all public viewing of how everybody's doing. The high overall average, like I talked about, conference gender athletes are required to participate in all competition weeks. And then ties are broken by the reserve week. So that reserve week means a lot. It's important. I hope everybody does it. It could not only help you out throughout the regular season, but it could be that difference maker between a tied score at the end of the year. And kind of wrapping up here, we'll talk on patches. So the league provides a number of different iron-on patches to acknowledge student athlete participation and achievement. Participation patches will be sent to head coaches after the start of each season to commemorate each new student athlete's participation in the league. 25 and 50 straight patches are earned by any student athlete shooting 25 straight in the same round or 50 straight in 2 consecutive rounds on the same event day during the league sponsored events. Website postings for 25 and 50 straight will occur when scores and standings are posted. So again, we want to acknowledge all these amazing scores and accomplishments throughout the year. There is an opportunity to earn a 75 and 100 straight patch at all the season-ending events, whether it be the championship tournament or even out at our national event out in Michigan each year. 1 straight patch should be awarded for the greatest number of consecutive targets hit. All state patches will be awarded to the top season averages. The all-state patches would be that group I talked about, those top 100 individuals. So when you talk about earning an all-state patch and knowing that you're in the top 100, plus ties, so maybe even up to 110 out of 11 to 12,000 student athletes that participate in Minnesota, it's a 1%er type thing. I mean, you're in a high caliber group, so it's a very prestigious honor to get that all-state patch. Safe and class patches will be provided to student athletes and coaches who complete their league sponsored certification courses. Again, we want you to be proud. We want coaches, we want athletes to be proud to display those patches. Typically they're ironed onto vests or range bags or uniforms, but that way everybody knows, it's a big thing for those spectators and people that aren't quite as familiar with firearms to see that, hey, people have taken their safety certifications and that they know what they're doing out there. Head coaches may request additional. So yeah, I mean, we give them all to the coaches. That way, as soon as that event happens at your range, the coaches there and able to honor you with that achievement. So with that, I just would like to thank everybody for attending today. I would definitely like to thank Craig and his staff for setting this opportunity up. And with that, I will stand for any questions.
Well done, Jason. And you and I talked yesterday about other shooting opportunities if the kids can't get their school to rally around this program. There's 4-H shooting sports, which would give the kids a wonderful opportunity to get started. There's ATA clubs. There's a lot of different places that kids could go to get a start. So if you can't get it started at your school, don't feel like you're being left out. You can jump in and still participate. So
absolutely, yeah. I mean, that is again the mission of this league, and I believe any youth shooting sports league is to encourage that participation and get more youth involved. I tell the Jim Sable story. He was the founder of this league every chance I get, but I mean, that's why things were started, was by Jim sitting there in the clubhouse one day and being asked to help offload targets and ammunition. And the driver said, I need you young guys to come give me a hand. And when he looked around the room and decided at 60 some years old, he was the youngest guy in the room, that's when he determined that there was a serious problem with the shooting sport industry and where it was headed. So he went to the schools and got this thing going.
So we've got a question here from Troy. Troy wants to know, why is the national championship held in Michigan if Minnesota is the pioneer and the most participation in the country?
Great question, Troy. We certainly did look at Minnesota. We would love to have it in Minnesota, but we also had to factor in the size of the event and people's time and money and what they invest in this. So we simply put, we needed a bigger range than what's offered here in Minnesota without having to make it another week-long event for people. Minnesota is certainly in the cards in the future if we think we can get a range here or expand on a current range to make it big enough. But very simply put, kind of where we are positioned nationally, Michigan was the best spot for us to be.
Okay. Jeff asked a question, what does it cost to purchase a basic shotgun that could be used for a student in this program?
Costs vary, right? Depending on kind of the shotgun you're looking for. Certainly you can get into the market. I'll say at the base these days around $400 and then kind of go up from there. It really looks at, are you looking at more of a pump action shotgun versus a semi-auto or a break action? I would say the overwhelming majority of our league uses some kind of a semi-auto or a break action. Pump actions will certainly work, but they're not a preferred type of shotgun for clay target shooting.
Okay. And remember, folks, to use the Q&A section on the bottom for your questions. I just seen a couple pop up in the chat, so we'll try and get those. Bob wants to know, how many teams are there in Minnesota?
We're hovering right around 340. We've added a few here recently, so that number may be a little bit higher, but right around 340. And Minnesota is the biggest program right now, in the entire USA Clay Target League. So they've got the most participation.
Okay. And Bob had a second follow-up question. How do we differentiate, or do we differentiate between large towns and small towns?
Again, we do not really go by population or school size. We go by team size. So for a great example, I'll pick on my team at Lakeville. I could be competing against War Road, excuse me, or Wilmer. It doesn't really matter. It's all based on team size. So if you've got 25 students and I've got 23 to 26, we're going to be conference that way. Again, because we all shoot at our home range and we compete at home and enter scores online.
Okay. I don't see any additional questions. Benji or James, do you see any questions out there? We had an earlier, oh, here come one. If my school doesn't have a program, what advice do you have to find others interested in working with your school to get a program started?
I'll circle back to one of my initial slides on that Start a Team program. I would encourage anybody that's interested or looking to start a program to hop on to that mnclaytarget.com. I believe it's in the chats. And that there has a Start a Team page, which sends an inquiry directly to me, and then I can help you get started there. Certainly over the years, starting all these teams, over 1,100 nationwide, we've got a few tips and tricks that'll plug you into the right system to get the team started.
Okay. And we've got a question here from Michael for the DNR. Does the Minnesota DNR have a grant program to support teams at the financial level? And currently, the No Child Left Inside, we've had a few schools that have requested some funding for like league fees or clay target fees, but we can't use that funding currently to purchase ammunition or firearms. That just wouldn't be allowed under the current grant programs.
Yeah.
So we got it.
I would personally thank the DNR and their grant programs for what they've done, whether it's been earlier matching grant programs for ranges to improve, expand, things like that, or the No Child Left Indoor, which I know has impacted a number of teams. Certainly the DNR grant program has been an assistance to this league's growth.
Okay. I think I just saw another one pop into the chat here. For students on a team?
What was that?
They want to know the average number of students on a team. Is it just a squad of 5, or can they have more?
No, the minimum actually right now to start a team is 2. We consider a team to start 2. 5 is what would get you into the team scoring at a minimum. And then average team size, I believe, is right now around 30, 35 throughout the entire league, throughout the country. Biggest team,
Okay.
people always ask. I believe it was Hastings, had close to 130 a couple years ago. I mean, just some crazy numbers.
And is there any participation benefits, i.e. discounts on firearms or ammo for participants and their coaches?
Yes. So we are constantly trying to work with industry partners, including coming up here to the SHOT Show where we'll be at trying to make those partnerships work. But throughout the year, as soon as we get opportunities through any of our supporters, whether that be Shields, Sportsman's Warehouse, Cabela's, etc., we pump those out to our coaches, and hopefully they are sharing that with their participants. But yes.
Kevin wants to know how many athletes are there nationwide?
Oh, I'll know more after this spring, but I believe last year's registration was right around 30,000 nationwide. We estimate this spring to be somewhere between 35 and 40,000 just based on our new team additions over the course of the last year.
Wow.
Yeah, we have you and I briefly touched on it, Craig, but we have a drive for 100,000 student athletes by 2025, and we're committed to that, and we really want to get there, and it's about participation for us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't see any additional questions again, so if you guys have got something for Jason, please put it into the Q&A. I started trap shooting when I was probably 12, 13, and the trap club sat on the far edge of town, kind of a long bike ride, and figured out that we could take our boat down the river and then hike up through the woods and get to the trap club. And the guys were extremely welcoming. A lot of the old guys would go out and stand there and coach you on your practice rounds. And I got my son involved when he was about 11, and he was out there shooting a 12 gauge trap loads at 11 years old. And we posted scores weekly for our little team here in town. So it's a great activity. It's a lot of fun. It really improved my ability to make shots on grouse or pheasants. And then I got introduced to the skeet game. I heard you mention that a little bit, and that's really another fun game to go out and play with your shotgun. So I just can't thank you enough for the work you guys have done. And Jim Sable started so many years ago to get this program up and going. I just wish there was more of that kind of stuff when I was younger, and I'm glad it's there now.
Honestly, Craig, that's the number one thing you hear. I mean, every coach, every parent, I wish this was around when I was a kid. And so I'm glad that it is now. And, I understand this is about the Minnesota State High School League, but as that continues on, we've also been able to start a college league, and we have one specific here in Minnesota that we highly encourage our students to attend. That's comprised of about 14 two-year colleges called the Minnesota College or Athletic Conference, the MCAC. And so I can't tell you how many students move on from our high school programs into these two-year schools like Vermillion, Bemidji, Lake Superior, and so on, and then are able to continue this at the college level.
Wonderful. We have one last question. Howard snuck it in here. It says, were there any problems or hardships for teams last year with ammunition shortages? If so, how were they overcome?
Yeah, I mean, the ammunition thing, I honestly thought it'd be somewhat cleared up by now. It's certainly not. Yes, there was. The odd part about last year, and I'll pick on 2021 spring, was that there was a number of teams that couldn't participate in 2020 of spring when things were being shut down. So that was, ammunition, supplies, things that they were geared up for that never got used. So I call 2021 kind of a hangover year where, teams that weren't able to participate had stuff and were able to accumulate to participate in spring 21. My advice, obviously, is to everybody is to be as proactive as possible with the ammunition. We've done everything we can so far here in the league is try to offer league-wide programs for ammunition. I believe we've done 3 or 4 in the last year, trying to get with Federal and Stryker and others. But yeah, I mean, it's something we all have to be aware of. The pricing is not favorable to anybody right now, but it's something we have to work on together.
I think that's going to tie up the questions for us today, Jason. And, get out there and introduce your kids to the shotgun sports, get them involved in a program, whether it's 4-H or the Minnesota High School League, and start passing on that tradition of shooting sports over the summer, because it'll be something that you and your kids can do for a long time. So thank you again. Benji, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I was just going to comment on, and I talked to Jason a little bit yesterday about it. I have two young girls. One of them's just getting into trap shooting, and the numbers of young ladies in trap shooting, I think you said it was about 20%. And is there any incentive? I know one of the things we did, my girls are also big into mountain biking, is we started a girls mountain biking called the Grit Girls Ride Bikes, or something like that. But that's been super popular. Has any been any motivation or growth in the girls aspect of getting into trap shooting?
Certainly we had some big gains early on. I feel like it's kind of got a little bit stagnant, in that 18 to 20% range is, I believe, where we're at. I'll know more again after this spring season. But I mean, we literally, I think, are doing everything we can to encourage more female participation. I mean, I'd love to see that, it's some kind of a 50-50 tick someday. But it's kind of unique how these girls get going and how they get, they're some of the best recruiters when they want to do it. It's just kind of getting them out there to get that experience and see how fun it is. And once they do, they can get 4, 5, 6 girls involved in 2 seconds. So they're our best recruiters, are the female athletes and the female coaches by far.
Wonderful. Anything else, Benji?
No, I think that's it. I see, I see a lot of guys at the range and stuff, and it's nice when the girls come up there. One of the issues we had when my girls started is I got a little youth model semi-auto that my daughter uses. The range loaned a friend of hers a single shot 20, I think it was. She had a real difficult time with the recoil on it, so we were able to, luckily she stuck with it, and we swapped out guns and bought an extra recoil pad and stuff, and she really, after she got over that initial shock and stuff, she really stepped up and became quite a shooter, which is pretty cool to see. So I'm hoping some of the clubs, step up and do that. I know it's loaner guns aren't always easy to come by at all the clubs, but I'm really pushing our local one to move to a more comfortable youth model to get some of the younger girls involved in that. So I think it's great what you guys are doing.
Thank you very much.
That's going to use up our time for today. And remember, next week we're doing ice fishing, so check in and learn about ice fishing for panfish. And with that, I'm going to stop the recording.